Most people think calming down before bed is about dimming the lights or turning off the TV. But what if I told you that the secret to deeper, more restful sleep for people over 60 might start with a simple cup? Not a screen. What if your nervous system didn't need medication or meditation apps, but a warm liquid reminder that it's safe to let go? You see, there's a kind of wisdom that doesn't come from textbooks or white lab coats. It comes from the elderly, from the quiet reflections of those who've lived long enough to notice what truly works. What rituals are worth keeping and which habits quietly sabotage our health. This is Elderly Reflections, where we share the best of senior health, life lessons from the elderly, and the kind of inspiration you don't find on flashy billboards. And today we're talking about 2 drinks that can transform the way seniors sleep and live. Let me tell you a story. In a small village on the edge of Yorkshire, England, Eleanor was 74 years old and recently widowed, sat alone in her kitchen on a stormy December night. She hadn't slept well in over a decade. Every night brought anxiety, racing thoughts, tightness in her chest. She tried music, she tried journaling, even warm baths, but nothing ever stuck. One day her doctor suggested something simple, almost laughably basic: chamomile tea with a pinch of magnesium citrate. Eleanor almost rolled her eyes. Tea? Really? But she was tired enough emotionally and physically to give it a try. So she brewed a cup. Just one. That night, for the first time in months, her heart didn't thump like a drum when she lay down. The next night she did it again, and then again. After a week, something started to shift. The knots in her stomach softened. The racing thoughts slowed. She woke up feeling clear, not foggy, not cranky, just rested. Her daughter noticed the change and said, "It's like someone turned the lights back on in her soul." That's the power of elderly wisdom, of choosing calm over chaos. And it turns out there's real science behind it. Chamomile is rich in a compound called apigenin, which binds to the same receptors in the brain that sedatives target. Except it does it gently. Instead of knocking you out, it invites your nervous system to slow down. It whispers, "You're safe, let go." But the magic happens when you add a bit of magnesium, either from a supplement or even magnesium-rich foods. Magnesium helps regulate melatonin, relax muscles. A study published in the Journal of Advanced Nursing in 2017 showed that older adults who drank chamomile tea twice a day had significantly improved sleep quality, especially in how quickly they fell asleep and how deeply they stayed asleep. And the best part? No grogginess, no drug hangover, just quiet, intentional restoration. Eleanor now calls it her invisible blanket. She brews her tea, adds a little magnesium powder, sits by her window, and watches the sky fade into stars. That's her signal to her body. It's time to rest. That's not just a drink. That's a ritual, a form of self-care that says, "I still matter. I still deserve peace." Now let's talk about something you probably haven't thought of since childhood: tart cherry juice. George, a 69-year-old retired jazz musician from Atlanta, had been struggling with high blood pressure and chronic insomnia for years. He'd lie awake listening to the slow tick of his clock, counting ceiling tiles, desperate for rest. When his doctor suggested tart cherry juice, George laughed. "You mean like from a juice box?" But his doctor was serious, just half a cup before bed. That's all. Reluctantly, George agreed. 2 weeks later, he wasn't just sleeping better. He said his dreams came back. His memory was sharper. He stopped snapping at his daughter. He even started playing the piano again in the mornings. Why? Because tart cherries are one of the richest natural sources of melatonin on Earth. They also contain tryptophan and anthocyanins, which work together to improve both the length and depth of sleep. In 2012, a study out of Louisiana State University found that older adults who drank tart cherry juice twice daily slept an average of 84 more minutes per night. That's nearly an hour and a half of extra rest. And not just any rest, deep, healing, restorative sleep. The kind that helps your heart reset, that helps your brain clear out toxins, that helps your body rebuild muscle, regulate hormones, and stay young. George says now he can't go to bed without it. It's not just the juice, it's the message. "This is my time," he says. "This is me giving back to my body for everything it's carried me through." That's elderly wisdom. That's senior motivation in its purest form. Not about chasing youth, but honoring your years. Tart cherry juice doesn't interfere with medications, doesn't spike your blood sugar, and doesn't leave you groggy. But what it does do is offer your nervous system a bridge to rest. And when your sleep improves, so does everything else. Your mood, your blood pressure, your clarity, your energy. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Food is medicine. But so is the ritual. So is the intention. So tonight, before you climb into bed and scroll through your phone one last time, ask yourself, what am I feeding my nervous system? Am I giving it peace or pressure? Is it time I tried what Eleanor and George did? A simple chamomile tea with magnesium, a half cup of tart cherry juice. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated, just a moment of care, a pause, a breath. That's the foundation of true senior health. That's the kind of motivation that leads to change. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin. And if this speaks to you, if you've been chasing rest but never quite catching it, then stay tuned, because next we'll explore an ancient golden drink that reduces inflammation and a forgotten green leaf that may just be the key to calming your nervous system. Until then, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs a better night's sleep. And tell me seriously, where are you watching from? US? Canada? The UA? I read every comment, because here on Elderly Reflections, your story matters. Your health matters. And the choices you make tonight might shape how you rise tomorrow. When you picture the final hour of your day, what comes to mind? For most people over 60, it's a quiet moment. The TV hums softly, the house is still, the lights are dim. But what if I told you that this seemingly quiet moment holds the key to your blood pressure, your memory, even your mood the next morning? You see, we often underestimate the power of what we consume just before sleep. We think it's the morning coffee that defines our day, but for seniors, it's what you drink at night that might quietly be shaping your health the most. And if there's one thing we've learned, it's that restoring the nervous system after 60 doesn't require complicated routines or expensive pills. Sometimes it just requires reaching for the right cup and believing you still deserve healing. Now let me tell you about something golden, not just in color, but in legacy. Passed down from ancient Indian households to modern research labs, this next drink has quietly become a champion of brain health, heart health, and immune support, especially for seniors. It's called turmeric milk, or as many know it today, golden milk. I want you to meet Joyce, an 81-year-old woman from the countryside of Devon, England. She used to be a painter, not professionally, just as a hobby. She told me her best ideas used to come to her at night, just before bed when the world was silent. But in recent years, something changed. Her joints ached, her thoughts became cloudy. She started forgetting the names of paint colors she used to love. Her granddaughter, a student of holistic nutrition, suggested something unusual: a nightly glass of warm milk, infused with turmeric, black pepper, and a little honey. Joyce laughed at first. "That sounds like something you'd find in a yoga studio," she said. But she gave it a try. 2 weeks later, she called me with tears in her voice. "I feel like myself again," she whispered. You see, turmeric contains curcumin, one of nature's most powerful anti-inflammatories. When combined with the healthy fats in milk and a pinch of black pepper, which increases absorption, curcumin doesn't just flow through your system, it gets to work. It lowers inflammation in the brain. It protects against memory decline. A 2018 study published in the American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry followed seniors who took curcumin daily and found improvements in memory, attention, and mood, and even visible reductions in brain plaques associated with dementia. That's not folk medicine. That's neuroscience. For someone like Joyce, who once feared she was losing herself, turmeric milk became a nightly ritual. Not just a drink, but a declaration: I still have clarity left in me. And for seniors who feel the creeping fog of forgetfulness or the sting of aching knees, this drink is more than a comfort. It's a tool, a warm golden key to something many people think is lost: control over your own aging. Now let's shift from gold to green, because the second drink isn't even a drink in the traditional sense. It's a leaf steeped in boiling water, used for centuries across continents. I'm talking about lemon balm tea. Simple, subtle, but surprisingly effective. But once he retired, he faced something much harder than labor: silence. His wife had passed, his children were grown, and every night that silence became deafening. He told me he would lie in bed for hours, his thoughts circling like vultures: regrets, what ifs, worries. No sugar, no distractions, just him, the kettle, and the steeping leaf. Within a week, he said, the noise in his head had softened. Within a month, he wasn't just sleeping, he was dreaming again. Lemon balm belongs to the mint family, but its effects go far beyond flavor. It's clinically proven to reduce cortisol, calm the central nervous system, and support GABA production, the same neurotransmitter that eases anxiety and helps with deep sleep. A study published in Phytotherapy Research showed that seniors who consumed lemon balm regularly had significant reductions in restlessness and reported deeper, more peaceful sleep. But the real power of lemon balm is that it also helps regulate your heart rate. For seniors struggling with nighttime palpitations or the racing thoughts that often accompany high blood pressure, this tea can be a gentle lifeline. Harold calls it his peace leaf. Every night after a short walk, he boils water, steeps the leaves, and drinks it slowly by the window. He doesn't scroll, he just listens to the quiet, to the soft rhythm of his heart slowing down. That's the power of ritual. That's the kind of elderly wisdom we need to bring back. Not quick fixes, but deep, consistent care. So now we've added 2 more powerful allies to your nighttime routine: turmeric milk and lemon balm tea. One fights inflammation in the brain and body, the other soothes the nervous system and brings the heart back into rhythm. Neither requires a prescription, neither causes side effects, and both have been trusted by generations, not because of flashy marketing, but because they work. Here on Elderly Reflections, we believe that your nighttime routine shouldn't be a race to the pillow. It should be a moment of reflection, a moment to care for the only body you'll ever have. And let's not forget, when seniors sleep better, everything improves. Mobility, mood, memory, even independence. These aren't just drinks, these are choices, small, intentional acts of motivation. And with every choice, you're sending your body a message. I'm still here, I still care, and I'm not giving up. Before we dive into the next part, where we'll explore a powerful trio of habits and the bedtime mistake that's sabotaging your sleep, I want to know something from you. What's your nighttime ritual? Do you drink anything before bed? Do you have a routine that brings you peace? Tell me in the comments and let me know where you're watching from. I truly want to hear your story. If this has been helpful so far, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that could change how you age and how you feel. Because this isn't just about senior health, it's about inspiration. It's about life lessons from the elderly that still matter. And it's about remembering this truth: you're never too old to heal. You're never too far gone to change. And the choices you make tonight, they may just shape how you rise tomorrow. There's something sacred about the quiet of evening, a kind of stillness that only grows deeper with age. When you're young, nighttime is background noise. But after 60, it becomes a mirror, a place where your thoughts grow louder, your breath slows, and your body starts whispering things you might have ignored in the daytime. The aches you pushed through, the stress you carried quietly, the fatigue that never quite fades, and it's in that hour, the final one before sleep, that your body is making a request. Help me heal. That's why everything we've talked about so far, the chamomile, the cherry juice, the turmeric, the lemon balm, isn't just about sleep. It's about restoration. It's about remembering that every quiet choice you make before bed is a signal to your heart, your brain, and your spirit. You're safe now. You can recover, but now it's time to bring it all together, to build a routine that sticks. Because motivation fades, but ritual keeps you alive. Let me introduce you to someone named George, not the jazz musician we talked about earlier, but a retired dentist from Vermont. 82 years old, sharp as a tack, or at least he used to be. After his wife passed away, something in him slowed down. He stopped cooking, stopped caring about meals. Dinner became a cold sandwich or whatever he could grab quickly. He told himself it didn't matter. He said, why bother? But his daughter noticed the signs: poor sleep, forgetfulness, rising blood pressure, mood swings. She visited one weekend and said something that stuck with him. She said, Dad, we can't change the past, but we can reclaim your nights. And that became Reclaim Your Nights. Not fixing everything, just the final hour of the day. They started with what they called a night tray. At 8:30 p.m., George would set out a small plate. Nothing big, just a few meaningful items. Half a cup of Greek yogurt with a drizzle of honey, a spoonful of crushed walnuts, a few slices of kiwi, some nights a warm mug of turmeric milk, others lemon balm tea. It became a ritual. A moment of dignity, no TV, no scrolling, just quiet. Within a month, George said his sleep improved, his thoughts were clearer, his hands steadier. He even remembered his dreams again, something he hadn't done in years. That's what I mean when I say your nights define your day. So let's talk about how you can take this wisdom and make it your own. First, timing. Your body needs about 90 minutes to begin processing the nutrients in these bedtime drinks and snacks. That means your final bite or sip should happen about 1.5 to 2 hours before lights out. So if you sleep at 10, aim for your ritual to begin by 8:30. That gives your digestive system time to absorb nutrients without interrupting your rest. Second, portion. This isn't dinner. It's not a feast. It's restoration. Keep it light, intentional, and focused. A tablespoon of walnuts, half a cup of Greek yogurt, 1 or 2 kiwis, a small salad with spinach and olive oil, a warm cup of turmeric milk or lemon balm tea. That's it. You don't need to eat all of these every night. Rotate. Choose what your body needs most. Listen, adapt. Now here's something most people don't talk about. What not to consume. Because just as some drinks heal, others quietly sabotage your recovery. Sugary snacks, salty chips, toast and jam. These are comfort foods, sure, but they spike your blood sugar, raise nighttime blood pressure, and force your heart to work overtime. You're not just feeding your body, you're stressing it. Then there's alcohol. I know many seniors like a nightcap, a glass of wine to help fall asleep. But here's the truth. Alcohol reduces deep sleep. It makes your heart beat faster during the night, disrupts REM cycles, and leaves you feeling groggy the next morning. Over time, it raises the risk of memory loss and cardiovascular strain. So if you drink, do it earlier, never as part of your bedtime routine. And finally, be mindful of hydration. Water is good, yes, but drinking large amounts after 8 p.m. means multiple bathroom trips, disrupted sleep, and in some cases, dizziness or falls. Keep your fluids light. Sip, don't gulp. You're preparing for rest, not a marathon. And now the most overlooked part of any health habit, ritual. Because food isn't just food, it's language. It's a way of saying, I'm still in control of my life. So treat your bedtime routine with reverence. Dim the lights, light a candle, turn off the noise, set out your night tray, sip slowly, maybe play soft music or write one line in a journal. One sentence of gratitude, one reflection, one breath. That's how you turn routine into transformation. That's how you build a nervous system that feels safe enough to rest. That's how you reclaim your peace. I want you to hear this clearly. It is never too late to change. Never too late to take back your nights. Last year, a woman named Margaret from Minnesota emailed me after watching one of our videos. She was 86 years old and said she'd given up on sleep. I thought my time had passed, she wrote, but she tried one small change now. She sleeps 7 hours a night and remembers her dreams. She told me, I finally feel like I'm living again, not just surviving. And that's what we want for you here at Elderly Reflections. Not just sleep, not just numbers, but the kind of senior health. So tonight, take one step. Not all 6 foods, not the perfect plan, just one choice. Maybe a warm tea, maybe a spoonful of yogurt, maybe 5 quiet minutes by yourself. Let that be the beginning. The rest will follow. Before we end, I want to ask you something. Sincerely, where are you watching from? Drop it in the comments. You ask, Canada? Europe? Your story matters. And when you share it, you give someone else the courage to start their own. If this video gave you something to think about, a moment of peace, a new idea, or just the motivation to care again, then please like it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that bell so you never miss another moment of elderly wisdom, motivation, or life lessons from the elderly that can quietly transform your world. This channel is more than information, it's a community. One where seniors aren't forgotten, one where your voice is still strong, your choices still matter. Your future is still yours to shape, because no matter your age, 65, 75, 85 or beyond, your life still has chapters to write. And how you nourish yourself tonight may shape how you rise tomorrow. Here's to your health, here's to a night of peace and a life of strength.